Well, welcome back to part 2. I've tried to make this work, but I can't. It's an incredibly messy scene. It looks cool to the eye in the far distance, but it doesn't really work, in my opinion, as an image. So I basically haven't moved. We've carried on exactly where we left off from last week. So if you are here, thank you so much for tuning in for part 2. We are going to continue our walk around this little section of woods. The light is very similar to last week. It hasn't changed a lot. It's very overcast. So we are going to get them muted conditions. So we're going to look for shapes, colour, textures, contrast, and atmosphere from, say, a clearing or in the canopy and in the far distance, which is going to utilise our long lens. So there's quite a lot we can look for, but by doing that, like we talked about last week, it offers so much more and keeps it exciting, fresh, and doesn't bog you down, as woodland photography really can bog you down. You can get frustrated with it. Most people just like the idea of it, because a lot of people go out in woods, family walks, and they get into woodland photography like that and think, oh yeah, that's, that looks nice, that looks nice. But when you actually go out and specifically go for it, it can be very frustrating. So yeah, that's how I approach it, with a fresh head, fresh mind, and open to anything. You know what they say, you should always try things once. For me, woodland is, I try it every week. Right, come on, let's go. I do appreciate it might be hard to see on that camera, but just here there's a yeah, I think it is an oak. There's an oak tree here which is sort of got some yellow lichen and moss all on it, and that's what's caught my attention, which has forced me to look this way. And then when you look, here's a tree here, a dark tree, so you've got separation, contrast in colour. And there's a tree here that arcs round, it's sort of dead and it's all arcing over. It's like an old gnarly oak. And that's the sort of things I look for. Doesn't look like a shot initially, but when you look through your viewfinder and you're narrowing your field of view, you've already picked out that vignette. Now you want to home in on that vignette. When you get your eye into viewfinder, eliminate all these distractions. That's when you start to see and notice things. You start thinking like that. It's almost like I'm thinking in a 4:5 crop or a 4:3 aspect ratio, or I'm already thinking about that shot and what I could put in that shot. I'm not looking at this. This is what's drew my attention. In this instance, I'm not entirely sure it's going to work, because I can't eliminate the foreground, and here it's all messy and there's lots of brambles, dead brambles and bracken. It doesn't look particularly nice from here. So I'm just debating whether to bother getting the camera out or not. And in this instance, I don't think I am. Let's keep going. So I'm hoping you can figure out what I'm about to point my camera at. This new little bit of life, but what drew me to this shot was, well, I don't actually know if there's a shot here yet. What drew me to this scene was these streaks. These streaks in the, from the water, from the rain we've had, slowly working its way down the tree, and causing that that contrast. Now this isn't a oak tree, this is a beech tree. And yeah, what a tree it is absolutely stunning. It's an absolute beauty as well. So what I intend on doing is framing this new little leaf here somehow with these shapes, or even I might not even bother with the little leaf, the new bit of life. I might even just completely focus real tight on these lines and have a little play. So yeah, let's get composing, and then hopefully we'll be able to talk again about a shot I've found. Otherwise this bit the camera is absolutely pointless. So what I'm doing is I'm zoomed into around 200mm, and this tree is not very wide, so I'm trying to move backwards and forwards and adjust my focal length to eliminate obviously the sides. I want a crop of just a section of the tree, and I'm finding that the new growth and the section behind the tree or around this new growth, it's not particularly working as a frame. So what I think I will do is I'll probably not use this initially and just try and use a section, and then we'll go from there. But I'm going to turn you off, have a proper look around this tree, and then we'll talk exactly about why and how and what I've decided to do. But yeah, this is all about going intimate, and what I've already talked about, being open to shooting far, wide, intimate, opens your eyes, and here we are. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. It's going to be a good one, I think. So as suspected, I'm not using that new bit of growth. I'm just going to utilise these lines. I found a nice section with some really thin lines, and then a diagonal line that goes across it. I think it really works. Personally, I think I would like to try and have a section that was just lines, like a real abstract sort of a shot. This is going to be very minimal and abstract anyway. With that diagonal line, it just adds a little something different. Whether it will work or not, I'm not entirely sure. So I'm getting fairly low. With a shot like this, you want to get level with the camera. You want your plane of view wants to be as flat as possible. So whether you're looking at mud cracks down in the ground or something that you want to be shooting at eye level, because you point it up or down at the scene. Obviously depth of field is a big issue, especially when you're zoomed into around sort of 150 upwards. I'm probably going to have to shoot this at f16, or might even have to focus stack, because the depth of field is so short, and where the tree bends round like this, the edges of these sorts of images can go soft, because the tree is obviously round, and I'm trying to flatten that. So by doing that, I need a decent depth of field, and you can't always achieve that. So focus stacking is kind of a way around that if you can't get the depth of field that you want. But I'm hoping this is quite a flat-ish scene. I'm hoping f16 will give me nice corner sharpness and I won't have to focus stack. But anyway, this time we're nice and low because I want to shoot at eye level, level with my scene, and we're just going to dap nicking the ground with the spikes again, so we've got a nice solid base. Yeah. And again, not only do I want to be up and down, I don't want to be pointing down or up, I don't want to be pointing to the side or to the right neither, so you want to be in line with it as well. So I've got my base, got my camera, on my collar mount, and I am nice, and I've got a nice level playing field. and I'm pointing nice and flat, not up or down, left or right. I'm around 145 mil, so I've got plenty of room here for focusing. I'm not at my max, nowhere near my maximum focusing distance on this lens. I can really home in my focus. Now this is going to be a very Marmite shot. Not everyone's going to like this. Not all you lot are going to like what I'm about to do. Some people call them like a wallpaper shot. You're not really going to know what it is, and that's kind of the appeal for me. It's not knowing exactly what this is what's kind of drew me. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier with the part 1 with the previous shot. Was the reason I put that tree, second oak tree, in behind and hid it was because I want to create layers, depth and that illusion, and clean the image up at the same time. And this is kind of the same thing. There's lots of little gnarly features on this tree, but they don't necessarily always work. So by eliminating all of them and just doing something very simple, you create the illusion of people not knowing what it is. And I quite like that. So we're going to do the same sort of thing again. I'm going to focus manually. I'm going to focus right in the middle of my frame. I'm going to stick it in f16. The shutter speed is irrelevant now. So we're going to be keeping it at ISO 100. And if I go by my histogram, I'll probably go down a little bit darker. 3.2 seconds, f16, focus, bang in the middle of my shot. And when you're shooting an image like this, focus is the main important thing. If you don't have sharpness around your frame, this image does not work. The detail is in the bark, you're right up close, so there's nowhere to hide. If you've missed your focus and you haven't got sharpness around the outside of your frame, the wallpaper shot ain't going to work. Again, it's my opinion, but what I'm trying to do here is create abstract minimal shot, and I think everything has to be crisp, clean and sharp to achieve that. So yeah, I quite like it. So as you can see from this shot, is not a lot going on. It is what it is. It's minimal, it's abstract, and I like it. Well, I think I like it. I think I can do something with this in post, but it will need a little bit of work. The scene is very flat. There's literally nowhere to hide with this shot. Hence the reason why I wanted to shoot in f16 and get everything sharp. As you can see, it is absolutely pin sharp in the middle, top, bottom. I'm zoomed in far, very, very close there. And you can see with this lens, f16, the corner sharpness is still pretty good. So I'm not going to have to focus stack this one, which is good news. I'll just go back to my original screen. Here is what I'm seeing for the viewfinder. I'm at 6 seconds, f16. I am shooting slightly over what my camera's like me was saying I should need to be, but as you can see from my histogram, it is it's bang in the middle. It's exactly what you want to see with histogram, and I'm quite happy to shoot that way and to the right because I want all the detail in here, as much detail as possible. I don't want to lose any detail in any of this, because detail is what you're going to see with a shot. There is nothing but detail. So yeah, f16 and that exposure slightly to the right. I probably could expose to the right a little bit more, but I'm quite happy with the way that looks. I do quite like the addition of this line, this diagonal line. Again, shapes with a line, textures, patterns with the lines, vertical lines. This image is it is portraying exactly what I'm trying to get across in this video, and this is a perfect contrast in shot to the ones we've already taken in part 1 of how I approach my woodlands. I'm looking here and there. So yeah, I hope you like this one. It doesn't take a lot to work out what the main subject is, and I could talk about this shot and this composition for ages. It's not perfect, but it is there's such a stunning subject. These trees behind me here, they're all arced. It's almost like they're looking in. It's almost like, oh, this shot could be absolutely stunning. This is one I'm going to come back to. This is one I'm not telling anyone about because I do want this to myself. This is going to be amazing in mist. If you get some mist and just tidy up the images, the outside of this frame a little bit. This is not going to be a world-beating shot by any stretch of imagination, but I believe it could be a portfolio keeper. I'm thinking maybe more winter, autumn. I'm going to come back here in autumn for sure. I'm going to keep an eye on this scene. This could be really good with mist. Slightly, not so much life because that tree is obviously dead, and having the surrounding area in sort of on its last legs really emphasise the atmosphere that I think this image can be, and the mist will just simplify everything, because obviously if this is not all green and feel like it is now, we're going to get lots of light and lots of hot spots, whereas a thick mist will really help this shot. So I'll jump into the camera now and we'll talk exactly why and how I'm going to compose this image. So here she is. This is how I have composed the image. It's hard for you to see on here, but if I increase my exposure a little bit, it doesn't help, does it? Anyway, let's go back to my shot. This tree here is like a really red, rich tree. I could probably focus on this tree for you. You see, it's really red. I think these are beech trees. Let's just say there's 1, 2, 3, 4 beech trees. There is a 5th one here out of frame, which I have moved out of frame. I've gone in a little bit tighter. Notice I've cut the bottom of this tree off, which is quite nice. Add in depth, add in dimension. I'm not entirely sure if it's the right thing to do or not, but I quite like the fact that you can't really see the base of that tree. Well, you can't see the base of that tree. I have worked my way into the scene a little bit, which is kind of what I don't tend to teach people on my workshops. I tend to teach people to first eliminate most things and then move back, and then you get a much clearer idea of whether it's adding to the image or not. But in this case, I've kind of done it the other way around, which works doing it that way. As long as you're ruthless and you're able to eliminate things. There's a nice tree here which bends round, but by doing that, I create so much space here by moving backwards. I then see the bottom of this tree, but I create so much space here. Now I think that would work with mist and this wintry scene. I think that more of a dead, dark scene that would work because that would tidy up this. The mist would and the fog would clean all this up. But in terms of these conditions, I think this is the best way to compose. Obviously I've got issues here with the sky being involved with the frame, which I don't want. It looks like sky up there, but there isn't. That's just the lack of dynamic range with the Canon M50. But there is a tiny few little hotspots with nothing I can't get rid of or clone out if it's really that bad, but I don't think it is in Photoshop. And the tree just speaks for itself. It's just absolutely stunning. I do prefer this crop. I did try a portrait version, just using these two trees here as a frame, but then we introduced so much foreground and so much sky. I would end up just doing a 4x5 crop out of that anyway, and I don't particularly think it works. I think it works best with these trees here because of the way they're arced. It's all pointing to this tree, and it's almost like there's a meeting going on here, and these are the trees listening in. And as you can see, this is the godfather tree, the wise old tree. I don't know, telling a story or giving out orders. It's hard to sort of tell, but yeah, I really like the composition. It's just a stunning tree, stunning tree. And my settings are around 1.3 f16. I'm in f16 because this tree is very close and that tree is very far, and I think I'm around 85 mil, so I need a depth of field. If I was to shoot, say, I might try and shoot around f11, focus on this tree, and then hopefully have enough sharpness on this tree as the focus falls off. But I want this tree sharp, and I need this tree sharp. If this tree isn't sharp and that tree isn't sharp, the shot doesn't work. So I'm going to do one in f16. I know everything's sharp, I've already checked it, and then I will have a go at seeing if I can make this background fall off a little bit, because the conditions are not in my favour. So thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I hope you enjoyed part 1. If you haven't watched part 1, I'll put part 1 up here now so you can see. I didn't want this little 2-part series to be like a full-on tutorial, but more of a workflow walkthrough into how I shoot my woodlands and what I look for, and not so much how I scout, but just my general thought process. And then I like delving into the back of the camera and talking you through why I've chose certain areas, why I've done this, and why I've chose the settings and the depth of field. So it's not a tutorial, but it's just a walkthrough and how my mind works, because I get asked quite a lot, am I going to do more videos like this? And which brings me on to what we was talking about in the last video, which is post-processing. If you would like to see post-processing videos like this shot, which I'll show you in a sec, if you want to see me how I follow from here on into post-processing in Photoshop and Lightroom, then just comment down below what I was thinking. If you haven't seen part 1, I will explain this, but I think I'm going to do a join me monthly subscription. I haven't worked out the price yet. I'm thinking between £1 and £5 per month, so nothing too extravagant, and what that will give you as a member is access to strictly post-processing videos. I haven't done any post-processing videos on this channel as of yet. That's not with the intention of knowing that I was going to do this, but it's just lots of people don't A lot of people like them, a lot of people don't, and I already do, you know, little bits of gear here and there. I don't want to lose or put people off. I want the people that want to see my post-processing. If they want to, they can. And I was thinking of doing it like that. Then people that want to can, and the ones that don't will just watch my weekly videos that I do anyway, so hopefully it'll please both parties. 2, it helps support me as a photographer moving forward into the future, and thank you again in advance for everyone who has supported me, whether that be in comments, views, or financially by prints and my workshops. This just adds another chain of support for me. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments below whether you'd be interested in doing something like that, and how much would you be prepared to pay for. Maybe it might only be 2 videos a month, or even 1 video a month. Yeah, so just let me know down in the comments below. As for this scene, I think I'm pretty much done here. I really hope you enjoyed this 2-part series. I'm pretty sure we've covered what I do on a week-to-week basis. We've gone intimate, we've gone far, we've done classic, and I hope I've explained myself enough, but not gone into too much detail that I've bored the arse off of everyone. So if you are still watching, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me. And before a quick shameless plug. I am running workshops from this location and my bluebells. If you haven't seen my bluebell series, again I'll link it in the description. I'll put that at the end as an end card. Then prints are doing really well, so if you're interested in prints or a workshop, just head to photoninjaphotography.com and we'll get you booked in for a workshop or chat about a print. Right, I'm going to head off home. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you next week, where I will be somewhere probably in the woods. Ciao. Watch out for this shot in the future as well. This is going to be good.